eventually.
Oh, it's got to create all the events. But now we're live. Yeah. Woohoo! Let's hope we don't get canceled today.
Nice. Let's see. We could talk about that. Maybe that's better than the making deals thing. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just so difficult to talk about that.
It is difficult. Well, we talk. I want to the framework. I think, which would be great to do a show about, is all. I agree. Second chances, third chance. How that. I
want to think through that before we talk about it. But yes,
I agree.
Yes,
it is like a third rail.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT to identify the third rails, because I'm usually pretty good at navigating around those things. I mean, I know, right? Yeah, we both.
I super respect. I love the dialogue of different ideas. I think it's wonderful.
Right.
So, hey, if you're just joining us, you're one of the early adopters of this live stream. We're going to record 2 episodes of Business Brain. We're going to record one that's going to get released later today, and the other one we're going to record is our famous Friday Eye show that we're going to talk about a few different things, something new for me, and some changes in some industries that we're going to discuss. So yeah, glad to have you here. It will fill up, so come on in. There's plenty of room. We have an endless number of seats in the live stream.
As far as we're concerned, that's true.
We've made that arrangement that there's
plenty of room.
Sell out. Yeah,
that's right. Yep.
Okay. All right. I could be ready anytime you are.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right. No sponsors today. I just got to get used to the flow of this. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's like a good anomaly to have.
Yes.
Wednesday, October. Oh, wow. I got a lot of weds in there.
Yeah,
something didn't look like wed. Now I understand. See, I was trying to have a conversation while I did that. 688, Dave Hamilton, Shannon, Wednesday, October 1st. Firth? Should I make it Firth?
Yeah, go ahead. Colin Firth.
Fine.
Yeah.
Colin Firth. Yes. Okay. Let's do it. Here goes nothing. Business Brain, episode 688 for Wednesday, October 1st, World Sake Day 2025. Come by. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas, we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to tune our business brains so that each of us does a little bit better each day at living our charmed lives. Here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm back in Lafayette, California. I'm Shannon Jean. Had a great week on the ocean down in San Diego.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Very cool. Yeah. One thing is different if you own vacation rentals. When you walk into someone else's vacation rental, your view is a little different.
Yeah, I bet it is. You're learning and critiquing.
Yeah,
simultaneously.
It was an awesome place. The view, it was right on the beach. It was great. And I just kept walking around going, oh, a guest would complain about that if it was us. And the shower head was like up to my shoulder, right? So one of those things where I had to bend over backwards.
Oh, and
yeah. I wanted to tell I didn't, because my wife handles everything with this stuff. But I was like, hey, tell him to just spend $15 and get that shower extender so that if we stay here again, I wouldn't have to get on my knees to
do the shower limbo.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's just like
nobody wants to do shower limbo.
It's like a $3 million house, and
right.
If you're under 5 feet, it's awesome. But
that's right. Yeah.
If you're over 5 feet, it was a little rough on the head.
But just so everybody has some context, you were in San Diego, so pretty much anything that keeps the rain out and the heat in is a $3 million house to start.
Yeah, right on the
there.
beach, that's for sure. Anything
that's right.
A block from the ocean.
Well, I was going to say not even right on the beach. Within a block. Yeah. So we rented a cottage in San Diego that sort of had a bedroom upstairs, but you wouldn't ever go up there. Yeah. And and this was 10 years ago, and it was a $2.5 million house. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's just how it is. Like, I mean, it's it's how it is.
It's just how it is.
But there's something interesting in this topic that you unintentionally brought up.
Yes.
And that's the idea of, whenever possible, going and being a customer at your competitors' businesses.
Yeah. Or even your own, because one of the things my wife said.
If you can with your own,
Yeah, my wife made the comment, she's like, oh, they don't notice those things because they never stay here. Right?
Yeah, we've said that before too. Yeah, you've got it.
Yeah, but you're right. Going and using your customers
Your competitors.
Or your competitors. Like when I was trying to learn how to sell handbags, which I know nothing about, and I have no business in that business, I bought from everybody I could find that I thought was doing a great job, and to learn how to do it. So it's trying to understand, I don't think you should focus on your competitors like a ton to a distraction, but definitely using their services to see how they do things better or worse, or how you could improve, especially the ones that you think are killing it. Like one of the things I see a lot online is people judging, I guess maybe this is a human condition. They judge other businesses from their outside, and then judge their own business from the inside. And they're like, oh, these guys are killing it. They're doing 5 million and I'm doing this and that. And maybe that comment that you said about, using the other service that allows you to kind of realize like, oh, they shipped late. Oh, okay. Or, oh, they didn't include this, or they screwed this up. And
right.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, there's value to that. And I mean, like when
I think so.
We were already selling ads on the web. This is now, 20 something years ago.
Just take 10 off. It's okay.
No, it's relevant though. Cause we wanted to expand Backbeat Media into podcasting. And smart. I thought, okay, well, we have our street cred in the web business, but no one in the podcast world knows who we are. I mean, maybe they do if we start, pitching like, oh, our company was started by the same team that founded Mac Observer, and but now you gotta get them on the hook to be able to pitch them. And so it was like, all right, how do I just get people to take my calls in the first place? And it was like, well, two things. A, I don't know anyone in the podcast business, and I also don't know how podcast advertising works. I mean, I know how advertising works, but not specifically the mechanics of podcast advertising. So I went in and I was like, I'm going to buy some ads on some podcasts to promote.
That's right. Exactly.
We were starting we started iPod Observer at Mac Observer or whatever. So I was like, hey, I'm Dave at Mac Observer. We're starting this new property. I want to promote it on your podcast, because at that moment in time, everybody listened to podcasts on iPods. And that's how I got to know people. And that was how the first 5 podcasts for Backbeat Media came on board, because I bought from them, did the whole thing, and then told them, okay, here's the deal. If I had sold that ad for you, I would take a cut and you would bet more money in your pocket. And they're like, seriously?
Nice.
Like, yeah, you're underselling yourself. You're not doing it right. Here's the right way. I mean, it was a little more tactful than that, but not really.
That's not their core business, right?
It's not. Yeah, you do your thing. And I explained to them why our business started, and, the whole deal. But I already had them on the hook because I'd paid them money.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I read a newsletter from somebody that I like, and one of the ways that they got people's attention was sending cold emails, and they said, hey, are you in this business? I have either a service to offer you, or if you're an expert, I'd like to pay you to come speak at an event.
Yes.
And so it was this, wait, you're selling me something, but hold on a second. You're also offering to pay me if I'm knowledgeable about this stuff. And I thought that was just a really unique way to get people's attention, instead of just always trying to sell them something or ask for something.
That's kind of brilliant. I like this. Yep.
Me too. That's kind of good. You mentioned something before we started talking about having to sell a car. I'm in the same boat. I'll explain my deal. But but I also just sold like 3 or 4 old iPhones on eBay, and went through that process too. Yeah. It was time. I had, I should have done it a year ago, but I have a
whatever.
bunch of it too.
Yeah, exactly. And I decided I wanted the new orange iPhone Pro, and I'm like, well, I have no need for this. And I have a stack of iPhones. So if I can sell those and get 80% of what an iPhone, the new iPhone Pro costs, then it's fine, because I get rid of this e-waste. Somebody else, I'm repurposing it, and I get a new phone. So
I like it.
It was just the incentive to get my attention, because otherwise it was like whatever. But we are generally a 3-car family.
Okay.
And we have the car that my wife and I each have a car that we drive, and then our son, who doesn't, he lives with us some of the time. He has his place over on the other side of the state. We continue to provide him a car, right? So it's fine. because we can, and it's something
sure.
we can do for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew our daughter was coming home for this past summer when I replaced my vehicle in the spring. And so it was like, well, do we not trade this in? You know, do we remain a 4-car family for the summer and then deal with selling this car now? And the problem with, and so that's what we decided, you know, it's like, okay, great. Because, you know, we'll probably lose $1,000 or something on this whole thing but we're getting use out of it.
But you have it all summer. Yeah.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's super, super inexpensive to, you know, considering what it gave us. So we did that. And my wife wanted to take over for the process. And I was like, great. She's like, you know, I looked at the Kelley Blue Book value. It's a 2015 Subaru Legacy, you know, and so it was worth like, Kelley was like, you could trade it in for $6,000 or you could probably sell it on your own for $8,000 or something.
Okay.
You know, $7,500.
Right. Nice.
Okay, great. So she's like, all right, well, I don't want to deal with the headache. I'm just going to take the 6. I'm like, well, okay, but you don't know that like, let's see what happens. Right. Like, you know,
and put it up. Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And so she did. She went down to the dealer and the dealer's like, I'll give you $45,000 for it.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Of course. And she's like, I need 6. And they're like, we'll give you $45,000. So they're not interested in this vehicle, right? I mean, it's a 10-year-old car. They don't want this thing. They're probably just going to sell it off at their own auction, and they got to make some money.
Have you checked like those other like Carvana and those kind of sites?
No, that's the next step. Is that, or I told her, I'm like, put it on Facebook Marketplace, and you know, we can sell it to a college student, and it's the beginning of the semester, and let's go. You know, so.
Well, Carvana is really interesting in the sense that I was going to take time before when I was getting, my wife needed a new car, and she had Audi Q7, and we were going to. I was like, okay, we'll like do this thing, and it was during COVID, so it was hard to get some of these new cars, right?
Yes, right.
And when we were negotiating, and I do all my negotiating via text. So I have everything in writing.
Okay.
With the dealer guy, which is great.
Yep.
Or woman. And when we got down talking about trading, he goes, "Do you have a trade?" And I said, "Yeah, I have this car." And he goes, "Go to Carvana because I can't give you as much as they will." I'm like, "You don't even know what it is." He goes, "It doesn't matter." And so sure enough, I went to Carvana and I did it. And he goes, "What did they tell you?" And I think it was like, I don't know, $13,000 or something like that. And he goes, "Yeah, I would have offered you like 9." And I still think that's the case. And I think it's real quick. You just do a quick thing.
Yep.
And I was shocked. They came and picked up this car and they sent a big truck to your house and they walk over, they confirm the VIN on the car.
Yep.
They don't do any kind of inspection, at least in my case. She walked over, she handed a cashier's check to my wife and it was a woman who picked it up. She pulled the car on and we never saw our car. I'm like, man, get to the bank because
run
right now.
Right.
But it was amazing, and they're doing really well now. They tanked, you know, their stock went down to like $2, but now it's back to like 200 or something.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I definitely would be interested to compare your Carvana experience, or there's a couple other ones.
CarMax, I think, will do it, but that's a different.
Shift is another one, I think.
Oh, okay.
So we do all three, and I have a vehicle I need to sell too. Mine's a little more specialized. This is Jeep that's got all this bells and whistles.
Got it.
It's a Wrangler.
Yep.
And so I'm going to sell mine on bringatrailer.com.
Okay.
Which is an auction site for kind of, I mean, all kinds of vehicles are sold there, but a little more specialized.
Sure.
And it attracts people. And quite frankly, the main reason I'm going to sell it on there is because I don't want people coming to my house test driving this thing. I mean, it test drives great. It's in great shape and it's perfect. I just don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't want to deal with people coming and driving it and negotiating me down. So I'm willing to sell it and then you ship it anywhere.
And then just ship it anywhere. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yep. That's interesting. And so what's this? I'm finding links because I want to put them in the show notes for everybody, but also for me. So what is this Shift thing? Because the only Shift I found is Shift Auto Group in Canada. And I don't think that's what we're talking about.
No, maybe. Let me take a look here. Let's see. Shift car sales.
Shift versus Carvana.
Yeah. So
I did that just to try.
Driveway.com came up.
Okay.
But Shift doesn't come up. Maybe they're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, they filed for bankruptcy in 2023. Yeah,
There it is.
Let's yeah. But there's a
Pour
few
one out
different
for
ones.
Shift.
Yeah.
Driveway.com, you said was one?
Driveway.com. We'll buy your vehicle. Yeah.
Interesting.
Instant offer that's good for 7 days. What I liked about it is it's like getting an insurance quote or something.
Exactly.
You just get these numbers, and like when I was, I bought a new truck over Christmas. I went to Carvana. I had an older truck, a 2018, and they said, okay, we'll give you, $18,000 for it.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So when I negotiated for my truck, the new truck, they say, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, Carvana, and of course I marked it up $1,000. I said, Carvana said they'd give me 19. And he goes, okay, I'll give you 19. And I said, great.
Great.
So it was good. But one of the things, if you're buying cars, is to talk to people about it, because there's all kinds of these crazy incentives, right? I talked about it on the show. A guy gave me his supplier. He worked for some steel company, and I saved like $5,000 off my truck. And then Costco has $1,000 instant discount. And you always bring that up after you negotiate stuff. You say, oh, by the way.
100%. You bring all of that up when you're talking to the finance person.
Yeah. Once
right?
by the way,
you negotiate the whole deal.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, the finance person will say, well, we're two separate departments. I can't touch that. And I said, that sounds great to me, but to me, you're all the same.
Yeah.
I'm either buying a car from the building here, or I'm
the
not.
Sales department or
it doesn't matter to me. So I don't care what you do to get us there. If you got to screw the other department, even better. I'm on board with it. Yeah. And they don't usually like it when you sort of embrace their separation and try and create a divide.
Yeah, that's right. And the other. This is not a car buying episode, but it's kind of interesting. The other thing that has helped me is to involve some sort of constraint when you're talking or at the dealer, and telling them what that constraint is before you go. Like, for example, I have an appointment at 3:00. I'll come down and meet you at 1, but I'm leaving at 2:45 or whatever. I have this, I have that. I've got to go do this, so that you're in control of your time. Otherwise, the dealer is trying to wait you out, right?
Yes.
They're trying to get you frustrated, not frustrated, but they're just back
part
and
of the
forth,
process.
Part of the
they're
process.
there all day, no matter what.
Yeah, so you'll just finally be like, fine, I'll take whatever. I got to get out of here.
I got to go.
So when I bought my truck last time, it was Christmas Eve. And
it's the best time to buy a car too.
Yeah, and I said, hey, I'll come down, I'll buy that car. We negotiate some pricing and all that kind of stuff. And the last thing that got me down is said, okay, I'll come down and buy it, but I need a bed cover. Can you get me a bed cover for that car? Because that's like $500. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll get it. Go ahead, just go. But I said I have to leave by 1:00 because it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And I got out of there about 1:15, which was pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
So
that's in general, that's a nice thing to do. When I get a call, especially if I get a cold call from someone that I pick up, there's a whole thing that I go through with this, but I will start by saying, if it's a cold call and I have a sense that it's like a spam call, I'll answer the phone and it'll be like, Shannon, thanks so much for calling. And they'll be like, what? And I'll be like, oh, I thought you were my 2:30 call with Shannon.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Oh, and now they're kind of on their heels.
Yeah.
And they know now that I have something that I'm expecting to be doing right now that's not talking with them. And so they get to the point very quickly. And if I choose to talk to them, or especially if it's, one of our customers or something that I just don't recognize the phone number, at that point I can say, great, you know what? Give me a second. Let me text Shannon and tell him I'm going to be 20 minutes late.
Yeah, that's good.
And now I'm making time
you
for
control
you.
Your time. Yeah.
But I'm also sending the message that I've just chosen to prioritize who is on the phone, right? It's a subtle message, but it's like, oh, okay, great. Like, let me clear some time for you.
Yep.
But I'm also putting that clock on, like, I've got to call Shannon in 20 minutes now.
I like it. One of the best things I ever did was take my discovery call or initial call to have a talk from 30 minutes to 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because the same thing. I can, if it doesn't go well, if it doesn't sound like it's a fit, if it doesn't like good, it's 15 minutes and I'm out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it sounds good, or if it's something that's interesting, or I'm learning, or we have a good connection, that I can just let's just keep going because I
Let's
really
just keep
have
going.
a half hour.
Yes.
And I notice that people are like, hey, I know we don't have a lot of time. Let's get right to it. I'm like, great, let's go.
Get right to it. Yes.
Yeah, so I would say don't book 30-minute calls, book 15-minute calls, and extend them if you need it.
I generally will book 20-minute calls.
That's good. Yeah.
But, something with a buffer so that I can choose what to do with that
you
time.
get that extra 10 minutes or extra 15 minutes. And the key is, and I've learned this a lot, we've talked about it on the show a lot, is taking back control of your time where you make the decision. And also that like your point, prioritize it. That's a big indicator when you're talking to people.
Yeah.
Don't make yourself so readily available.
Right. Be reachable, but not readily available. I think, and there's a balance there, obviously. I want to go back to one thing that you said before we wrap up here about using Carvana as your safety net. I wound up doing the same thing when selling my iPhones. I went to Gazelle.
Okay.
And because Gazelle is like a wholesaler or whatever, and they'll pick up.
Still around. Gosh, they've been around.
They are.
Forever.
Yeah, they've been around forever. And there's other companies like them.
Yeah.
Apple will do it too with iPhones. But what I've found with Apple is they'll give you a price, you send it in, and they almost always with me will come back and say,
lower?
"Oh, it's 20% less than that."
Oh, I hate that.
And
That's
I've had that happen with the others too, but not Apple. It's
really?
like it's the rule. Yeah. And their advertised prices are generally a little higher than the others, but they don't actually pay those prices. So I don't like to go through the headache.
Interesting.
So I go to Gazelle because by and large, Gazelle will give me what they told me they were going to give me, assuming that my description of the product was accurate. Right, of course.
Okay. Yep.
And so I go to Gazelle before I list it on eBay, and now I know what's my baseline. I know that I got to be 14% above that because eBay, and the shipping and the headache and all that stuff, so maybe I want to be 25% above that, whatever it is. But it just lets me, it puts me in a position of control. It's like, okay, well, let me see if I can get more for it than I would get on Gazelle with minimal headache.
And did you get more for it? A lot more or?
A lot more in both cases, in three cases. Yeah. I had four phones to sell. One of them had a cracked everything. So that just went to Gazelle. I wasn't interested in dealing with that. But
no, that's cool.
But the other three, I got more. But I had a floor, and I had people ask me, sent in offers like, here's this. I'm like, no, here's the price. And then somebody was like, eventually somebody was like, I'll take it.
Yeah, great. So the takeaway, like this episode is we're talking about deal making, but it's deal making in the buy side and the sell side.
And the sell side,
because it's not enough just to make more money or whatever. You got to be smart about the things that you do with it, whether it's how do I legally pay less taxes, how do I maximize all my write-offs, or how do I sell these things that I talk about reselling all the time. I always tell people, just walk around your house. You don't need to go buy anything.
No.
I guarantee you. Or take your phone and walk around, and I'll point out things you should sell.
I got you. Yeah.
Because I just know it's like, oh, you see that thing's in demand. You should go search for that kind of stuff. We all have stuff in our garage, our house, or our yard that you could sell. And so, that's where you start. Yeah, that's where you start. It's good.
Yeah, you probably have 10 grand worth of stuff without thinking about it.
Yeah, there's some sort of study that like eBay did that said the average person has $4,000 or $5,000 worth of stuff that they could sell quickly and make money.
I think if you're listening to this show, you've got about 10 grand. Easy.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Without taking anything out of its useful life for you, like things that you are truly no longer using and are just like e-waste or some form of waste.
Drawer full of iPhones, iPods, that kind of thing. Yep. I had a lady this week in our reseller group that bought 2 pallets of books from govdeals.com and has sold those over the summer for $5,000. She bought the 2 pallets for $1. I was so excited. I was like, you're out of your mind. Great. I thought that was amazing, And another guy, just wrap this up real quick, but another guy gets free couches from Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
Cleans them up, films time lapse of him cleaning and even like stitching and sewing the thing. And since he started in January, and he has sold 92 couches out of his garage, out of his driveway. And I'm so thrilled for this guy. This guy's a weatherman up on the West Coast, and he took this on. He saw some stuff I posted, and then I've talked to him a couple times, and he just posted, I've sold 92 couches, and basically all of them are free. And I just like, dude, that just impresses me so much that people are willing to do that to change, to start something new.
The video is the brilliant part of this, because not only does it give the eventual customer the peace of mind that like this thing has been refurbished and I can trust it in my home and all that. It's also great marketing, because who doesn't want to sit and watch a couch restoration, time-lapse video?
It stops the scroll.
It stops the scroll.
Yeah,
it sure does.
It's great. So yeah, so those are all deal mate. If you're going to sell your car, do a time lapse video of you washing it or getting it all prepped. Do the time lapse video of you doing the detailing, right?
Yeah.
Using the vacuum, scrubbing, waxing, whatever you're going to do, and that should be the first thing you post in your marketplace post, because as everybody else is scrolling around seeing photos of cars and trucks, they'll go, wait, what's that? And I think Marketplace puts the videos first automatically. I'm not sure, but I think they do. So I definitely recommend that. You want to get attention.
Oh, that's so brilliant.
Yeah. Everything. What is that? Somebody once said, every business is in the content business now.
Every business is in the content. I think it was you that said that. Did I say that?
One of the other.
I don't know. It was on this show. Yeah.
It was. I guarantee that much I know.
Maybe if you know, to let us know, feedback at businessbrain.show, because we can't remember anything, but you can, and we appreciate that. So yeah, let us know. And if you have anything else, let us know. And if you would, please go to businessbrain.show/review and give us a review for the show. We'd love 5 stars. We've talked about why that's flawed, and yet we're going to ask for it anyway. So businessbrain.show/review, that is our ask for today. And in addition, of course, to please just stay subscribed. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday. Keep living that charmed life.
See ya.
All right, we're out.
Awesome.
3 episodes.
Very good. We're in between. So if you're on the live stream, we are going to get ready to publish that one episode, which I'm going to publish this afternoon. Normally we record on Mondays, but because I was traveling, are we back
2 weeks in a row?
Next week?
I don't know. Take a look.
I
think we are on Monday.
Yes. We are on the 13th. That's Columbus Day. So.
It's other things too, Shannon.
Yeah, Indigenous
Stay
Peoples Day.
tuned. No. I mean, there are things completely unrelated to anything about the discovery of our nation here. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, because it's what we do. So tune in on Monday and you'll find out what what day we have chosen.
That's true.
Actually, Monday will be a different show. What have I chosen for Mac Geek Up for Monday? Hang on, because Mac Geek Up doesn't release. This show doesn't release on Mondays.
Yeah, that's
we will record on Monday.
Wednesday. Yeah, record on Monday.
So for Mac Geek Gab, it is October 6th is Zero Inbox Day.
Oh, that's exciting.
And for Gig Gab, the show I do for musicians and people in the music industry, I should say, working musicians.
Yep, it's awesome.
Let's see, what did I do for October 6th? Is yes, of course. Oh shoot, I still need to publish that show. National Mad Hatter Day.
That's a big one. Yeah,
sure.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't know. I got to get my hat. I'm not ready. But I should.
Let's see. So that was 688. We just did.
That's pretty good. So yeah, if you're in between the streams right now, we're going to get ready to record another episode. We're going to record our Friday where I'm going to talk about this new. Let me see if I can take it off here. Probably should. This new little dongle that I've got right here. This limitless AI dongle that. It has some unique use cases, which I really like. And I'm using it now. And I'll never forget, again, who said every business is in the content business. Because if I wear this thing all the time,
you're in the content business.
It'll remember for you. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll be able to search my own AI, which would be great.
Okay.
That's
the idea. That's what we want.
That's the idea. Yeah. I need all the help I can get.
Right.
That is for sure. Okay. So while we're sitting here, Dave is getting ready, doing some pre-production, I think. Post-production of the show.
It is. This would be post-production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go.
Although a lot of it is leveraging the pre-production that I did
Yeah.
earlier today because that's really what makes it so that I can do this on the fly.
Yes.
'Cause otherwise I can't. There have been days when I've had to do all of the work on the fly, and it takes
longer.
A lot longer. Yeah, it's not polite.
Yeah. Makes
All right.
sense.
I'm
Awesome.
almost ready.
Okay, that sounds great.
Last step here.
Let me pull up to our notes, and let me pull up that website which I want to talk about.
Okay. I'm ready to rock when you are.
I am ready to rock.
Do I have enough fluid? You know what? I'm going to get
Okay.
seltzer here.
Nice.
Okay. What do we have here? Limoncello LaCroix. So,
Oh, wow. Nice.
It's delicious.
Very
nice. These are good. I should open this before we start because...
Yeah, so you'll hear the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good.
All right. Let's rock. Here we go. Business Brain, episode 689 for Casual Friday, October 3rd, National Body Language Day, 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take ideas, some of our ideas, some of your ideas, and together we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to tune our collective and individual business brains so that we each know a little bit more to help us lead our charmed lives. Here on National Body Language Day, attempting to look open and caring and relaxed in Durham, New Hampshire. I'm Dave Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm aggressive and action oriented. here in Lafayette, California, I'm Shannon Jean. Happy Friday,
There is something to body language, though. Like it's
agree.
something I think about a lot.
Yeah, it's big time. How do you use that to your advantage? Like when we're connecting over the airwaves here, right? That's interesting. Your Zoom or whatever, it's got to be different. Your facial expressions.
Zoom body language is interesting. When I don't do it for the show, mainly because of the logistics of the space that I've chosen to be in when I record. But prior to moving into this space, I stood every time that I recorded a podcast. Now, this was back in the audio podcast days. Nobody could see me.
I see. Yeah.
But I still felt the energy was easier to sort of muster up the energy. Obviously, I've been doing it long enough and it's fine now. But when in my office, when I have a call where I'm feeling a little anxious before it or feeling like I need to really be at the top of my game for this, a call where I'm selling, right. And I have an adjustable desk and I'll stand my desk up for that call.
Yeah,
if I'm not already standing. Yeah.
I like
just so I don't wind up slouching. Like it communicates a more commanding vibe when I am standing on a Zoom, when I'm standing for a Zoom call. Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. Yeah. And you can kind of move yourself around.
And you can move yourself around and
get more inflection, lean into the call, that
correct.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Correct. But never am I going to slouch, right? There's no opportunity for that.
Yes.
Because there's no chair.
Shoulder back. Yeah. Take up room. That's one
But
of
I
those
also find, and it's funny because I just did it now, although you might not be able to see it if you're watching the video. I go out of my way not to cross my arms.
That's not the best.
Right, that shows that you're closed off.
You may, it's really interesting. Hey, so on this Friday, I want to talk about a new.
Well, first, I do want to. I want to invite people. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Please tell us your body language stuff. Like I think there's something we can all learn from each other here about using body language and really just being aware of our body language and how it impacts others. So if you've been impacted by someone's body language or turned off by it or turned on by it in a business deal or whatever, let us know. Or if you use it yourself, if you're aware of how you use it. I think it's a I don't know. Here I am crossing my arms because it's a little cold in here. It's candidly the reason, but
I like it. And on the Zoom, I think, or even on these things, I think it's important to get your hands out there once in a while.
Get your hands out there.
And one of the things that I really like about yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
And to be, my problem is like well, not a problem, but you got to be careful not to hit your mic.
To whack the microphone all the time.
Whack.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I was doing a workshop the other day, and I have a bunch of stuff. This little viewpoint looks nice and clean, and everything's really
Sure.
nice. But of course, there's a bunch of stuff all over my desk. And
Obviously.
I went like this, and with my arm to make some broad statement, I knocked about 5 things onto the floor, and it was a
I've had to
cacophony.
clear things out.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
have to
talk
do
with my
that, too.
hands when I'm on stage, like to do a presentation or a speech or whatever. They'll put a lavalier mic on me, and I stop them and I say, "You need to run it up my shirt."
Yeah, that's right.
Because
the
I
wire
talk.
will be
Unless you want this thing to go flying and you want that to be a bit, we can do that. I'm fine. But then we're going to be talking about it, during whatever we're doing because that's how it. Yeah. But yeah, Labs and I, Chords and I, no bueno.
Yeah, it would be the same thing. That'd be
But
good.
and I also find, be careful how much you touch your face when you're on a Zoom call.
Oh, yeah?
I have a habit of like touching my chin or whatever, which is better, but like covering your face is bad if and in person too. I also think that Zoom calls, most people are just looking at themselves no matter what. And it's unhealthy. We've talked about this before.
We have.
That has nothing to do with body language.
What I typically do when I have camera fatigue is I just pull another window in front of my own
Yes.
head, and then
Yes.
I don't have to see anything.
Yes.
And
on Zoom, I turn my view off. I don't see myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's
I like
the most healthy way to
I agree.
to deal with it. Yeah. Because
100%.
otherwise you're just looking at yourself. It's weird.
Yeah, stupid. It's terrible.
You got a thing though, don't you?
Yeah, so if you watch
Friday
this
Eye.
on our YouTube, if you go to YouTube and watch this, you can see this little dongle that I've got here. This little it's a pendant, they call it, and it's through a company called Limitless AI.
Oh, I remember them. Okay.
They used to be called Rewind.
Yeah.
And they have a desktop app and a phone app and everything that kind of
Right. We've talked about Rewind on the show.
We have. And I've used it for a while.
When the pendant launched, it was a year and a half ago or 2 years ago or something. It maybe even just a year ago. I remember all the people that I did not review one, but I remember the people that reviewed it did not have nice things to say.
Like this one? I don't know.
In that it just wasn't ready for prime time at the time, but it's well, okay.
What's interesting is that these hardware, software type, the software is crucial, right? That has to work really well.
Yes.
And so I've looked for one for a while. I've used a few different ones, and I've been using this thing for, about a week or so. And I like their use case is a little different. Yes, I want it to help with my productivity and all that kind of stuff, but they also have, if you go to limitless.ai, they have some really interesting, in the solution sections, they talk about for parents, for patients, if you're going to your doctor, so you can pick up everything that is said. For journalists, the thing will hold 2 days worth of audio. So the way it works is it's recording everything that you say or that is heard, and it is making lists for you. It is creating reminders for you if you tell it to. It's got a little button that you can say, highlight that section that I just talked about for 10 minutes, which is kind of cool. But it's another, they have a whole section on ADHD, and they're also positioning it for people that have memory loss, Alzheimer's, that kind of thing, of keeping it with, I would love, my mom's 97, and I'd love to, have her wear one of these when she goes to the doctor so that you could track and say, hey, what did they talk about? So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm going to keep talking about it, see how I use it and see if it passes. I have this, what I call the 6-month test. Am I still using it in 6 months? And one of the main reasons.
My question is, does it work? Is it reliable and all those things? No more concerns about
great. Okay,
great.
When I
How long have you had it?
About a week.
Okay, that's long enough. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they have this thing called the life log, and you log in. It has all this stuff, and it also has AI, so you can ask it what commitments did I make today? What was the most productive part of my day when I was talking to people, or, some interesting, like they talk about, there was one example, person's insight, adaptive responses, solutions, serials by patient, doctors, like, yeah. The way you can talk about it is asking, what did I spend the most time on today? What tasks did I do? Just different stuff like you would normally do. And it's got an also like your reminders type thing. So it'll pop up and give you feedback on things I need to do this at this time. Like earlier today, I said, I want to make sure I do this at 6 p.m. tonight. So I'm going to, with tracking that and see how it's coming up. So yeah, it's relatively new, but I'm going to try it for a while and see what I like about it.
This sounds, I mean, if it's doing its advertised job, then that's great. Like that, and I was looking at the pricing of it while we've been talking here.
Yep.
It's interesting. And I'm sure you know this, but I'll share for the audience.
Please. Yes.
The pendant and the unlimited plan, which is unlimited transcription hours, which is of speech. Silence doesn't count towards your plan. So you can get fixed hours, but the pendant and the unlimited plan for a year is $399. $399. You could buy the pendant alone just for $199, but then your yearly plan is $348 a year. So you're essentially getting the pendant for $50.
Correct.
With a year's plan, because it's worthless unlimited without the plan. Yeah. Right. A year's unlimited plan.
You can get the free plan is 20 hours of audio per month.
That's true. Yeah, sure.
So you can, if you want to experiment with it, that kind of thing. The pro plan, I think, is $19 a month, and it's 100 hours. And then unlimited is $29. But yeah,
it billed yearly. It's $49 if you build monthly.
Yes, yearly. But that's correct.
But I mean, to me, $400 is a great point of entry price, entry price for a year to experiment with this thing. And you're going to give it the 6-month test. That's what anybody's going to give it, right? Am I still using this in January? That's right. The real question. That's not even 6 months. That's are you still using this thing in November?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you are, you probably will keep using it until something better comes along.
Yeah, or they're continuing to improve and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they have, for me, one of the things I'm getting the next 4 months or so, I do a lot of driving where I'm listening to podcasts and things. Sure. And I'm constantly listening to a podcast and think, oh, that's a great concept. I need to put that on the Business Brain. Or, I could do a post about this concept, but I'm driving and I don't want to grab my phone, or I don't necessarily want to, say, Siri, remind me, yada, yada, yada. So I'm hoping that with this sitting clipped to my shirt, my jacket, or sitting on my dash, I can just say, hey, don't, make sure you mention this. This is an idea for some content based on what I just heard. And I'm hoping that works really well for me, and I'll report back to see how that's going.
Now, I have a question here. You may or may not know the answer.
Yes.
But we've just talked about all the pricing of the plan and the pendant and the bundle and all that stuff. I went to rewind.ai, which is still a thing that you can do.
Okay.
And it says introducing Limitless, a web app, a Mac app, a Windows app, and a wearable. So I wonder, could I get started with this by just using 20 hours for free and the Mac app and just learn? Now, I realize it's not following me around. I don't get all the benefits of having the pendant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But is there a test world here?
Yeah.
I don't know. But if I
have to say, I used Rewind, the free version. Yeah. That's how I even found out about these folks. And I used it on my Mac because I'm just like, well, it's gonna keep track. It doesn't, everything's private. It tracks all the stuff I work on during the day, and I could go back and ask Rewind, what did I say? Like, I had a meeting this morning, and I could not for the life of me remember what the topic was supposed to be about.
Yes.
And even though
you're not alone.
And I was like, where did I connect with this guy? So rather than jump on LinkedIn, then jump into my mastermind and jump onto X or jump into email to try to search for this guy, because I still use that Rewind app. I just search and it just comes right up, and it brings every context of that name that you mentioned, typed, put an appointment, all that kind of stuff. So it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Super helpful. And I need that kind of stuff. And I know, people have privacy concerns or whatever, but I think the ship has sailed on that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not wearing it at night when I go out to dinner, maybe unless it's a business dinner or whatever. And I'm always I would always mention, hey, would you mind if I recorded this? It's just like jumping on a Zoom call. Would you mind if I recorded this?
Yep.
So otherwise you just turn it off and it's not listening to you, unlike your telephone, which never
So it
stops.
looks like you can get started for free. I just signed up while we're talking here.
Nice.
And there's an onboarding flow, of course.
Yes.
Creating your first recording, linking your things, subscribing to pick a plan that works for you, but we already know there's a free plan. And then finally, install Limitless for Mac. Record other speakers better, especially if you use headphones and get better prompts. So, I'm gonna experiment with this too. Yeah, for sure.
I think you might like it.
Like the idea of this pendant and really I know they're not promising anything. This is me like putting an implied promise or maybe a wishful promise on it. But the idea of this would be it listens to everything that I do. It links with, whatever. It becomes what I've been using ChatGPT essentially for a long time.
Right.
It becomes my assistant. Right.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to make it.
You want to make it that, of course.
Yeah, I want it to tell me, these are things you spoke about. This is what you said you were going to do. These are tasks you asked to be reminded about. This is, all on and on and on and on and on. I just want some personal assistant that's with me all the time.
All the time. Right. I want it to capture everything so I don't have to. So I don't have to remember. And like you said, so it's suggesting things. So what I've always said is that I want Jane from Ender's Game, which is essentially
that's coming.
This is a step toward it. It is a version of that. So,
correct.
Right? And I know they're not saying that. I'm saying that.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like their
like
use case is pretty interesting. And I like there's a whole solution section up there for ADHD, which we've talked about on the show, and I'm all over the place. So I can grab, I live my life in little snippets.
Right.
Deep work is difficult. When I get into deep work, it's great, but I'm also jumping around all the time. And so just being able to mention something as a set reminder, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and that, and it's recording me right now, and it's going to put it in a text format. And at the end of the day, when I'm sitting there on my phone, I can look at it and say, tell me about my day.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about. And I'll keep reporting back.
Okay.
I'm doing it for
great.
the people, man. I'm doing it to, I'm living this AI life so I can share with you here.
Yeah. No, this is great. I love it. I love it. Thank you for bringing that up. I think it's great. Yeah.
That's good. How are we doing on time? Do we have time for one more quick topic, or are we ready to go?
I think we've exhausted.
Okay. That's great. So I'd love your take on it. If you go to limitless.ai or rewind.ai, if you want to play around with the Mac stuff, that app. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about these wearables that are going to be recording us at all times. Does that freak you out, or does that excite you about opportunities, and how do we keep what little shred of privacy we have left?
And just for clarity, it's not the Rewind app that I'm going to download. It's the Limitless app for the Mac.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
same
thing. Yeah, that's great.
Well, it's not the same. I think it's similar, right?
Yes,
similar tech, obviously. Yeah.
Yes, similar tech.
All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Please go to businessbrain.show/review and give us a review. We would love that. It makes a huge difference for us. We look forward to chatting with you next week, and have a great weekend. Keep living that charm life. Later. And we're out. Where are we on time? 3:40. Okay, good.
Just made it. Awesome.
Oh, this is going to be great.
We are going to wrap up the live stream. If you are one of the 347 people that joined us here, thanks for hanging out. We do this usually every Monday, and you can find us on every platform: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and anywhere else that we stream to. So I'm going to end the stream, and we'll see you on every podcast app on the planet. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.